News tonight that continues. We have been reporting for the last hour or so on that fire that has broken out in Kijiji. That's an informal settlement opposite Southlands Estate in Langata area. We earlier spoke to our video editor who told us about the fire trucks running out of water. We want to bring you the very latest. We have no reports of casualties at the moment, but when we last spoke to our colleague on the ground, he talked about the fire trucks having left, going in search of water, and no authorities. But we understand that the National Disaster Management Unit is now at the scene and want to speak to Pius Masai from that unit right now. He joins me on phone. Good evening, sir. What more can you tell us? The last we heard from our reporter is that the fire trucks had run out of water and had left the scene.
So far, all fire engines which went to refill, came back and trying to contain the fire. The fire is still burning. I'm still waiting also for fire engines from NYS and Kenya Defense Forces because we need their support. This fire is too fierce and has spread a widespread area, burning in the different directions. It requires more fire engines to fight from different directions. But so far, as I told you, it's unfortunate that most property is burned. Most people have lost a lot of property, but we are doing much as we can to ensure that we contain it as soon as possible.
All the fire engines that had run out of water have now come back. How many are we talking about?
4 fire engines.
4 fire engines.
4 fire engines from Nairobi County government, and they are trying. And also we have water pushers which are assisting to refuel the engines. So far, I've got 4 water pushers assisting. But what I'm saying, I still need more because this fire is still burning, and the problem is accessibility. You know, when you cool the other side and leave it a bit, it ignites again. So it requires cooling from all directions.
Any reports on, casualties or rescues from these areas? I mean, this is, a settlement and persons were living there. Obviously, at that point, we would have people in their houses at the moment. What can you tell us about rescue operations?
I'm appealing to Kenya Red Cross to come and support. There's a lot of humanitarian support required. Many people are just scattered all over the road. Agencies like Kenya Red Cross, I'm appealing wherever they are, let them come and support, because many families who live in this kind of shelters, they don't have anywhere to sleep. They are just in the cold. It's unfortunate that most of them, they have lost their property. They are requiring support from any well-wisher who may come support. Although I've seen the Langata County Commissioner, Nairobi Regional Commissioner has been around, but we need people to come and support, because this is an area whereby many people are involved and is a disaster.
So no reports of casualties, persons that may have been injured that may require medical attention?
You cannot tell this because this is a widespread area and you don't know who is who. But so far we have not reported or we have not received any case of anyone injured or any lives lost. But this one can be ascertained through when the investigators will go through to check after the fire has been cooled down. So far, we didn't receive any report of such nature. What we know is property damage. These are shops, and name it.
Right, but we're hearing reports from our people on the ground that women are standing outside watching the fire burn helplessly because they claim to have left their children in the houses. Have you seen any of these women? Have you talked to them?
Yes, there are many women here, but no one has reported to us that one. And I'm appealing to anyone who has any report, let that person bring forward the policemen who are around here. They can get that information and can give advice what to do next. Because so far we haven't received such information. But we are appealing. Let me use you also to appeal to anyone who has any report about any life or any injury. It's important that that report reaches us, and there are nearby officers within the road and also inside where the fire is burning. So it's important that it's reported.
You're making an appeal for the Red Cross. Are they not at the scene? Just tell us again who is at the scene besides the fire engines from the Nairobi County government? Which authorities are at the scene now besides your unit?
What's on the ground is the regional commissioner himself is on the ground. The county commissioner is on the ground. The National Police Service, the APS, the Kenya Police, the member of the public are too many here. But I'm appealing to Kenya Red Cross. They know their responsibility in terms of assisting us in humanitarian support. So I'm appealing. I've not seen them. If they're anywhere nearby here, let them report to where I am so that they can give support to these people and see how they can assist them.
Areas. You've made an appeal to other members, say from the National Youth Service, to provide some additional reinforcement. Have you talked to authorities in these other institutions to be able to back you up?
Yes, actually I've had communication between myself and the Kenya Defense Forces kind of our team. He assured me the vehicle coming, engines from his side. Likewise, National Disaster Operations Center has coordinated resources from NYS. I'm yet to see. Otherwise, the coordination has been done, but now I need to see those resources arriving. I'm waiting for them. I'm on the ground.
Okay. Finally, describe for us the scope of the fire. Since we last spoke, we understand it has spread rapidly. Obviously, once the fire trucks run out of water. Please tell us about the scope of the fire. And even as we do so, we just want to remind our viewers that the pictures you are seeing on your screen now are live from Kijiji in Langata area. Mr. Masai, the scope of the fire at this moment, it's spreading rapidly, we hear. Is that something you can confirm?
You know, the structures, they are having chemicals, as you understand. When the fire burns chemicals, it can spread far area and start burning other areas slowly. So, as you are mentioning, these structures are informal. There are no plants. So this fire spreads like that. You may see it near you, and you may see it far. So it's a matter of knowing what is burning, and you cannot know what is inside those kind of structures because they're informal settlements.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Pius Masai from the National Disaster Management Unit. Thank you for speaking with us on phone. We will hopefully get in touch once again when you have more to inform us of. Let me bring you up to date of the situation in Langata at this moment. The pictures you are seeing on your screen are live. A fire broke out a little more than an hour ago now at Kijiji. It's an informal settlement in Langata area opposite Southlands Estate. About less than an hour ago, the fire engines, 4 of them from the Nairobi County government, are reported to have run out of water, left the site. Pius Masai from the National Disaster Management Unit says those 4 fire engines are now back, but he says he needs more equipment and has asked for reinforcements from the NYS and the Kenya Defense Forces. And he says he is waiting for those reinforcements to come to go to Kijiji area. That fire you're seeing on your screen still burning fiercely. And he's also appealing to the Red Cross to make their way there as quickly as possible. He has no reports on casualties at this time. We are hearing reports on our end here in our newsroom of women who say they have left their children in the houses and are now worried of their fate with this fire spreading rapidly. Mr. Pius Masai confirms to us that the regional commissioner, the county commissioner, the Kenya police are all present at the site, as well as the area member of parliament, Nixon Korir. But he says this is a fire that is spreading outward from Kijiji area to now the surrounding areas. Earlier when we spoke to Silas Kodi, who's our video editor, who got us our very first pictures when this story broke, talked of hearing explosions, little mini explosions, perhaps from gas cylinders or cooking equipment in the houses, and that this fire had spread from the houses in Kijiji area to the nearby shops and bars surrounding this settlement here in Nairobi. We will be speaking to him in just a moment as well for the very latest on this fire that has broken out. A very sad state of affairs with more reinforcement being requested. We understand it is on the way. It should hopefully get there sooner rather than later. I don't know if we can speak to Silas Kwadi at the moment to just get some more details from him. He's our video editor, and he has been present at the scene from the moment this fire broke. And one other thing to mention from my conversation with Piers Masai, who's from the National Disaster Management Unit, he complained about access to the areas and to the houses being the major challenge for those trying to put out the fire, and says that perhaps the added reinforcement, the added fire trucks from NYS and the Kenya Defence Forces can then surround the area and be able to battle this fire, because he says you start battling it in one area and it's quickly spreading to adjacent areas. Let's speak to Silas Kwadi now. He's our video editor here at KTN News and has been present at the site. Silas, when we last spoke, you talked about the fire trucks having gone for reinforcement. We understand they're now back, but what more can you tell us since we last spoke?
They're now back, but they haven't covered anything at the moment. The whole village is gathered down because there was like a lapse of 1 hour, 30 minutes, whereby nothing was being done at all. People were watching their things go down, and that is the update as we speak. People have lost everything. There are rumors that there are like 3 or 4 casualties. There was a baby who was sleeping, who's lost. But I was trying to get the parents, but I was unable to. So these are just hearsays from people around.
Hey, Silas, perhaps you could say that again. I didn't get you clearly. You said there are rumors that...
There were rumors that there was a baby who was asleep in the house. The mother was not around. And people are suspecting that he was a casualty in this. But those are still rumors. They haven't gotten to speak to the mother yet.
All right. Are you seeing any casualties from where you are? People looking like they have been injured in this fire, looking like they need medical attention?
Not really. So far, I only saw one ambulance since the time the fire started. That was at around 8. It was a St. John ambulance. Nothing yet up to now. The fire engines, only one came around. It's still here, but they've done literally nothing. The fire is going down. It has gathered everything, literally everything. People have lost everything, their belongings.
All right. And when we spoke to Piers Masai, he talked about the police being on site. Are they helping to sort of keep people out and, you know, law and order? Because obviously we understand that and Piers Masai said there's a lot of people who are there. Are the police helping keep people at bay?
What I've seen them doing is only offering protection to us now. And then maybe trying to control traffic among the people who are trying to get to the site with their cars. Nothing else so far.
And how are the people on the ground? We understand there was a bit of apprehension or anxiety or tension, if you like, upon the arrival of the disaster management unit.
Yeah. Because, they were like that because literally the fire engines, as I told you before, they came in without water. So the people wanted to burn their vehicles because they were not helping them in this disaster problem. But people have calmed down. I can't say that calm is slowly returning because this is a disaster, but at least there's some sanity around right now.
Okay. How much further has the fire spread from when we last spoke about an hour ago, in your estimation?
It's down the entire village right now because there was a lapse of 1 hour, 30 minutes, nothing being done, totally nothing. The entire village is down.
Silas Kwadi, who's our video editor, please stay on the scene and stay safe for us. We'll continue to get updates from you. These are live pictures coming to you from Langata area. Kijiji, according to Silas Kwadi, says the entire village has burnt down. Reports of a lady who might have been asleep in the house, but no details yet. He cannot report any casualties at the moment, says there was one ambulance at around 8:30. excuse me, at the time this fire broke out, but he has not cited any injuries or casualties, persons with injuries from this fire. That is what we know at the moment, saying the police are on site and some sort of order that is being restored by the police at the moment. But then again, talking about the angry residents who threatened to burn one of the fire trucks when it came to the scene without water, talking about the fact that for 1.5 hours this fire was allowed to rage with no control and no attempts at putting it out. So that is what we know so far. No casualties reported as of now. That may change in the coming minutes and hours. Pius Masai also saying he has not noted any casualties at the moment, National Disaster Management Unit, but he's also calling on the Red Cross to get on site. They probably are on their way. We also understand that in addition to those fire engines, 4 of them from the Nairobi County Government, there are others expected from the National Youth Service, from the Kenya Defence Forces, police on the ground, the Regional Commissioner, the County Commissioner, and the Kenya Police are all there. Now, this fire broke out at about 8:30 p.m. Still raging now. These are the pictures that you are seeing on your screen. Fierce fires, sounds of explosion. Naturally, obviously, a number of shops, small restaurants, kiosks, and houses. And that may have complicated it. There's the issue, of course, of access as well. These are the live pictures from Langata right now.
Dari turun mpaka tulikuwa mulika watu twende pan hivi au twende tumulike zile vitu kama jamaa tazusha pale inataka kusanya. Tumulika vitu
unaona ukitoka watu wazima moto, unaona vile kumetendeka, si uongo.
Tubenduke. We usiende mbali, tutaongelesha live kwa TV. Usiende mbali. Niko hapo.
Kila kitu imesonga.
Ndio yako ndio utakuta
kanitha mani kinya matingie kwa kĩndũ kĩiguĩra Jehova tha magĩrie kanitha no ndakĩona ndona nyũmba iria cia mahiga nyũmba cia mahiga no itigarĩte no rũiru atirĩ nĩ ngũ nona mwaki ũcio bado no ũrakana kũrĩa mbere unajua bado ile choche sasa
Iko na wapi?
Kila zilienda wapi? Silas.
Tuongee kidogo hapa kina Masai.
Yes, nataka sana.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, the cause of that fire in Kijiji in Langata area still unknown at the moment. Live pictures on your screens. I believe the man that we're seeing looks to be Pius Masai from the National Disaster Management Unit. I don't know if he's about to speak, but he's obviously surveying the area. We spoke to him just a short while ago, earlier here, telling us about the situation at the moment. Residents were earlier quite angry when the fire trucks ran out of water, claiming they were not helping them. Reports from our colleague on the ground telling us about how frustrated the residents were, threatening to burn down the fire trucks. Our video editor, Silas Kodi, is at the scene, and he will be speaking to Pius Masai in just a short while. When they're ready, we will go there live now to get the very latest update. So let's go there now. Pius Masai, live on KTN. Silas, over to you.
This is an unfortunate incident which happened. This is Southlands, Langata. Thousands of people have been affected as you see the fire is still burning. The cause of this fire we have not established, but it will be done through investigation. I'm appealing for fire engines within Nairobi, whom I requested to come have not arrived because this fire needs to be cooled completely, still burning. We need to cool it down completely. I'm using only 4 fire engines from Nairobi County. Those ones that I appealed for have not arrived from other agencies. I still appeal that they come so that we can completely smoother this fire to end. And as it is now, and as I said before, thousands of people are in the cold. They need support. Humanitarian affairs agencies like Kenya Red Cross, St. John Ambulance, among others, let them come forward and give support to these people, the community who are just on the road. It is important that anyone who has been affected and suspects that people involved or still trapped in the fire anywhere, let them report to the police officers who are on the ground here or come to us here so that you can know that information and we can narrow that place to see whether those people can be saved alive. Because some people have been saying they had some families somewhere there, but you don't have clear information about it. So it's important that anyone who is affected here and he suspects that his people or his family or a family, they're still trapped somewhere within the fire site here, we are ready here to come and support. So it's important that they come forward and give that information. Yes.
Okay, I'm joined by some of the residents here who lost their belongings.
Moto ilianza vile moto ilianza 7:30 na vile moto ilianza tu na place moja ikaenda kwa ingine, lakini kitu yenye tumeona kama wananchi ama kama wenye wamepata shida ni moja. Tumeona kama county government imetuangusha kabisa because lori yenye imekuja hapa haikuwa na maji. Zote mbili vile zilikuja hazikuwa na maji. Sasa zilisimama hapa kama manyumba zinachomeka kama wanaona hapo, tujaona pazuri. Tena tunaongea tumecall mheshimiwa Mr. Korir, hakukuwa na pick phone. So tujui tulimchagua akuja tufanyie nini. Another thing, we can't assume ourselves that we have MCA, we have the governor or we have mbunge here. Because Kenya tumeona, this thing is not normal. Moto, it is not normal. But we are asking the police to go fast in investigation. Exactly. Because we kama wananchi tuwezi umia na tuko na serikali. Because hii moto sio normal. Moto inaanzanga na kuna mali munaweza fika na muzibe moto. Lakini hii ya moto ilikuwa continuous yenye mkienda huku ni huku. Hii imetushangaza, na kama kuna mkono ya mtu tunaomba serikali tusaidie. Na serikali pia tunawaomba na tunaona kenye mumefanya tujafurahia kama wananchi. Because inafika time tuliona mali Raila Odinga alikuwa anatoka ng'ambo, tuliona risasi kama mnafuguza watu. Lakini hapa
naomba tuongelee incident wachana na siasa.
Kwa siasa. What I'm trying to do, we are Kenya. Sisi wote ni wa Kenya. Na kitu ikitokea, tunaunganisha na ingine. Kama hii ilifanyika hivi, na hii kwa nini inafanyika hivi? Ile alikuwa anatandika, wananchi walikimbizwa na matiaga. Vile saizi moto imewaka, hujaona usaidizi yoyote kwa serikali. Tunaomba serikali, tujasema ni wao, hata wao wanatusaidia, tujaongea vibaya kwao. But tunasema vile walifanya kama Raila alikuwa anatoka ng'ambo, vile wafanye. Mwingine.
Yeah, visibly agitated, frustrated residents of Kijiji area there now speaking to us on KTN, talking about how the response for them has been slow, talking about when this fire broke out, they say now at around 7:30 p.m., talking about the fire trucks that are taking a long time to come, trying to get in touch with the authorities, the area MP and others to send help, but obviously frustrated by the process. Many of them, we understand, mothers, wondering about the fate of their children, watching their houses burn down. According to our colleague on the ground, Silas Kodi, the village has been gutted down. The Pius Masai from the National Disaster Management Unit asking for reinforcements from the National Youth Service and the KDF. We spoke to him just a short while ago. He was live on KTN News, still asking for reinforcements from the Kenya Red Cross as well. There have been efforts to get in touch with the area MP. We will be speaking to him on phone. That's Honorable Nixon Korir in just a moment to get an understanding of the situation there and what sort of help might be needed. Meanwhile, Pius Masai continuing to try and calm the residents down and understand just what the needs are in terms of casualties. There has only been one ambulance on site. As you can see, those are the live pictures there. Pius Masai from the Disaster Management Unit speaking with residents of Kijiji town, trying to understand what could have caused this fire, where it began, and indeed what are the areas that need the help quickest. This is what we know now. The fire broke out somewhere between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. this evening, and it spread rapidly because for about an hour and a half, there was no help from the authorities. 4 fire trucks that were at the scene initially ran out of water, left and went for reinforcements, and are now back. More fire trucks have been requested from the National Youth Service and the Kenya Defence Forces. The Regional Commissioner, County Commissioner, the Kenya Police are already on site, as well as the National Disaster Management Unit, still waiting for the Kenya Red Cross. We have no reports of casualties at the moment. That may change at any moment. Now, Pius Masai calling for anyone and everyone who may have casualties or know of loved ones in that area to report that immediately. Let's now speak to Nixon Korir, who is the area member of Parliament for Langata. Good evening, sir. Are you at the site, and what can you tell us about this fire and indeed what reinforcements might be on the way for the residents of Kijiji?
Thank you, everyone. Right now, I'm not at the site. I'm in Mombasa. Actually, we were here for the induction for the committee, for the parliamentary committees. But I was informed about the fire incident about an hour and a half ago, and I talked to the governor. And of course, we tried to put out the fire before the fire before it spread. But unfortunately, as you say, there was a problem. There was a problem because some of the machines that arrived on site had a shortage of water, and the fire has spread. I'm told, unfortunately, we have lost the entire Kijiji. And right now, I was just speaking to the Deputy County Commissioner. He's on site, and the MCA, the area MCA, so that we can see how we can now assist the families that have lost properties, so that we can see how we can now rebuild their lives. But what I can say is that the president late last year launched some firefighting equipment, which we are yet to see it being put into use. Because if this fire incident was, if the firefighting equipment had enough water, we could have contained this incident before it spread. But unfortunately, we are not prepared at all, because we've lost almost 5,000 houses. I mean, that is a big number. That if we had proper equipment to handle the fire, we would have managed it. Yes.
Talk about that. Even from the residents of Kijiji, whom we've spoken to now, decrying the response time that for about an hour and a half, this fire was allowed to rage on before the Nairobi County government or indeed anyone responded to this fire. So what's your assessment from what you are hearing from those on the ground about the response time? Are you,
Actually, the response time was a bit quick. Within 20 minutes, there were firefighting equipment there, but unfortunately, they didn't have water. I've tried talking to the defense forces because we have Langata barracks there, but because of the bureaucracy, we couldn't get the firefighting equipment. I've tried calling the Wilson Airport, but because of the bureaucracy, we cannot get the firefighting equipment. So we really tried, but it's unfortunate that the equipment that we have, we might be having the best of equipment, but without water, there is nothing that they could do.
Have you spoken to the county governor of Nairobi, and what does he have to say about this?
The first person I called 1.5 hours ago was Governor Sonko, and I told him there was a fire incident because I was away. I'm in Mombasa. Can you help me put off the fire? And he told me that immediately he was dispatching a team to go there. And with 20 minutes later, I was actually called by my team on the ground that the firefighting equipment was there. And about three trucks were there, but unfortunately, one only had water, and two of them did not have enough water. So they had to use the one that had water, and then they went back looking for water. When they came back, already the fire had consumed almost half of the Kijiji.
I know you said this a little earlier, but perhaps I didn't get it clearly. It's interesting because there's a barracks not too far within the Langata area. Why were they not able to respond in time?
Yvonne, even last time, we lost a slum called Kuinda Slum in Langata. It is in Karen. Barracks have a lot of bureaucracy that they have to call for approvals for the trucks to leave, the equipment to leave the barracks. They have to call all the way to, I think, the head of military for them to get an approval. That one will take a day or 2 days. We cannot get it. So I think it is the bureaucracy and quick response. I mean, they are not really. They care about. I think the military. They don't care about people.
Pius Masai from the National Disaster Management Unit talked about access in these areas. Now, in Kijiji, this is your constituency. What differently needs to be done? What needs to be done differently with respect to ensuring access in an informal settlement like Kijiji?
Of course, the access was one of the biggest problems initially. But now, when the fire spread even to the other side of the road, there was no firefighting equipment to put off the fire from the road where it was accessible. So while we admit that the way the Kijiji was built, access was a big problem. But on the other hand, I mean, even when the fire spread all the way to the other part of the Kijiji where the road is there, I mean, the part of the talent market, there was no firefighting equipment to put it off at that particular time.
Have you heard of?
I think it is about preparedness, really, not even the access. But But access is another problem, but it is about the equipment that we have and preparedness, the training that we have to manage such incidents.
Yeah. Have you heard of any reports of casualties, of people that need medical attention? We spoke to a reporter on the ground who only reported one ambulance since around 8:30, but no signs of that. I don't know what you are hearing from your people on the ground.
No, I have not received any incident right now. The DCC is on the ground, the county commissioner is on the ground. Right now, I just talked to him, and he said that they are organizing to see if they can get a place for the residents to sleep, so that we can do a survey tomorrow and get to analyze how far the damage has gone, so that we can see how it can happen. But currently, I don't have any incidences.
Okay, all right. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. But tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning, I'll be landing in Nairobi at 8 o'clock, so that we can see what we can do and how we can help the people of Langata.
All right. Asante sana, Nixon Korir, who's the Member of Parliament for Langata area. He's speaking to us on phone. He's in Mombasa for that induction for members of National Assembly of the various committees, telling us what he knows and what he's hearing on the ground. Says he will be back in Nairobi and in Kijiji area at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to assess the damage and what sort of help is needed for them, decrying the response and the sort of equipment that is there with the Nairobi County government in terms of response to this fire. Also talking about the bureaucracy within the Kenya Defence Forces to just allow their fire trucks to leave the army barracks. Ironically, there is an army barracks right in Langata area, but they were not able to respond on time. However, from what we're hearing from Pius Masai, he says he has made the request from NYS and KDF. So let us see what comes of that. Also, the Kenya Red Cross requested on site to help with any casualties. For now, a number of those will be out in the cold. From the conversation with the area Member of Parliament, Nixon Korir, he says the Deputy County Commissioner and the area MCA are on site and just seeking to help the residents and see where they will get a place to sleep. But he is also reporting the same thing. Our colleague, video editor, Silas Kwodi, is reporting that the entire Kijiji village has been burnt down. The entire village has been gutted in this fire that broke out at around 8:30, now going to around about, what, 3 hours ago now? The fire is still raging. The pictures, as you can see on your screen, Pius Masai saying this fire needs to be fought from all fronts, that you begin in one area and the fire spreads to the other. Nixon Korir, the area Member of Parliament, also telling us that the fire spread to other areas on the road. So there's other shops and business establishments that have been affected in addition to the residential homes of those in Kijiji area. We have no reports of casualties at this time, but we will continue to update you once we get any news on this devastating fire on this now 29th day of January 2018.
Everything, their belongings.
All right, and when we spoke to Pius Masai, batteries.
insanity around right now.
Okay. These pictures you're seeing are from just a short while ago at Kijiji area. That village that we understand has now been completely gutted down from reports we're getting from the National Disaster Management Unit and the area Member of Parliament, Nixon Korir, whom we spoke to a short while ago. This is a fire that broke out at 8:30 p.m. According to the area MP, the response was immediate but not adequate, seeing as out of those 4 fire trucks, according to him, only 1 had water, had to go back for reinforcements. Those were fire trucks from the Nairobi County government. He talked of bureaucracy in terms of trying to get fire trucks from the nearby army barracks. The Kenya Defence Forces talked about some serious bureaucracy that, that would take almost a day to get the fire trucks out of the barracks and out to help the residents. Also saying the fire had spread to other establishments around Kijiji, nearby shops, bars, kiosks, as well as others quite near the road. So this is what we know now. No reports of casualties yet, but certainly the residents of Kijiji will be spending the night out in the cold, waiting to hear from their Member of Parliament, who is set to arrive from that induction that's taking place in Mombasa. He promises to be there first thing in the morning. Only 1 ambulance has been spotted so far from 8:30 p.m. The Deputy County Commissioner, the Regional Commissioner, the Kenya Police and the area MCA, all present at the scene to try and see what happens to those residents there who will now need quite a bit of help. The Kenya Red Cross also reportedly at the scene or on their way there. This is a fire that broke out at 8:30 p.m. Residents were angry and frustrated with the fire trucks for not being able to contain the fire, at some point threatening to burn down the fire trucks. That is the report, and also from the interviews that our video editor had with the residents there, expressing their frustration. It is a bit frustrating for the residents now. I want you to take a look at this footage right now. This is live. Our reporter Jeff Kirui at the scene. As you can see, still a bit of commotion, still a bit of anxiety and tension from the residents of Kijiji area there now as we speak. He's of course trying to speak to them and get us the latest report, and obviously also hear from them on just what happened. So he's obviously still trying to get them to calm down so that he can speak to all of them. Jeff Kirui, can you hear me? Jeff, can you hear me?
Very good morning, Yvonne. This is, yes, indeed, Yvonne, I can hear you. It's quite chaotic and noisy here. Some of the guys have lost their properties in the fire, and they're just trying to organize them so that we can speak to at least a few to tell us what exactly transpired. But Yvonne, it's quite chaotic here. Some of the youth who are here, they're just trying to express their dissatisfaction. They're trying to express, of course, vent their anger. And maybe I can just speak to one or two guys who've lost their property, and then they can tell us exactly what happened, and maybe let us give our viewers at least a bit of the situation here at the Southlands in Langata Estate. Well, maybe unaweza tuambia jina alafu tueleze ni nini kimetendeka haswa.
Kwa majina naitwa Tony Juma, naishi hapa mtaa Southlands Kijiji. Mimi nasikitika sana, nyumba yangu, nyumba ya wenzangu na marafiki zimeporomoka. Lakini tumeona hiyo ni kama ilikuwa ni setup na si mzuri.
Labda tuongee pia na tueleze.
Kwa mimi naitwa Francis aka Mistaken, naishi ghetto, nimeshikwa miaka 15. Ghetto ilianza kuchomeka, na ile moto ilianza nayo ilikuwa moto kiasi sana, ambapo tuko na KDF hapa hivi, Kenya Army Defence Force, tuko na KWS kando yao, tuko na Kenya Prisons pale, bado tuko na Kenya Police, na tuko na ile Community Society, na bado tuko na governor wetu. Sometimes back ago alisema kwa kila police station, kasi jakosea, kwa kila police station alisema atakuwa anaweka fire brigade ya kuzima moto, si ndio? Lakini inashtikika sana, ghetto mzima kuchomeka, gari moja inatumwa izime moto na gari moja haiwezi zima moto. Kusema ukweli, yenyewe ni huzuni sana. Gari yenye ilikuja, narudia nikisema gari yenye ilipata nafasi pia. Okay, gari yenye ilikuja haina maji. Ghetto imeisha, gari ndio inakuja iweze kuzima estate ukuta.
Yvonne, maybe I can speak to one more, maybe the member of County Assembly, I presume, this particular word.
Yes.
What exactly happened in this particular area?
First of all, we want to record our disappointment that this fire started. When it started, immediately we called the firefighters. And unfortunately, when they arrived here, they came without water. And then we were wondering, how can you come to put off fire minus water? This is very disappointing. And we were saying that the county government and the firefighters have really failed us big time. So what we are saying is that our people to be calm, that tomorrow we are going to actually start investigating the source of this fire, so that eventually we are able to ascertain whether it was started by someone, and let us warn people that if there is anyone involved in this fire, we are going to ensure that we protect this Kijiji to the last blood which we are going to have.
Maybe if you can just tell us what is your name exactly?
Sorry?
Your name.
My name is Jared Akama Ondieki. I'm the area MCA, Mugumoine Ward.
Well, you can start by telling us your name. Your name, if you can start by telling us your name.
Mimi naitwa Josephat Mugambi Guna ama Muguna. Mimi ndio nilikuwa naomba kiti ya MC hapa Mugumoine. Kiti ya kwanza tuko na challenge kubwa. Mugumoine peke yake ama Kijiji ya Southlands iko na over 12,000 voters. Na kuliko hata tuwekewa zimamoto moja karibu hapa. Zile zimamoto zimekuja hapa, zimekuja 3 bila maji. Watu hapa wamechomekewa wote, biashara zetu zimeisha. Mimi nilikuwa na biashara inafanya 24 hours. Nilikuwa na watu 15. Hao watu wataenda wapi? Kuna Sonko Rescue Team. Hakuna hata moja tumeona leo. Imekuja bila maji. Hao watu tawafanya nini? Kitu ya kwanza tunataka serikali ichukue hatua. Na sivyo tutajua vile tutafanya. Kwa sababu tumeumia. Biashara zimeumia. Hiyo ndio nasema.
Well, Yvonne, that is the situation here at the ground. Maybe we can just give you a preview of exactly what is happening in this particular area. And these are just the remains of what was once the homes of so many residents of this particular area. The fire actually is spreading from this particular area. And as we speak, Yvonne, we've seen county.
Chaotic and some tension there. Obviously, very frustrated residents of Kijiji area. Jeff Kirui, we hope he can be able to stay safe and get us the very latest from there. Jeff Kirui, that's our reporter. He spoke to the area member of County Assembly, Jared Akama Ondieki, who is decrying the poor response, obviously, by the Nairobi County government. I would just like to point out at this moment a tweet from Mike Sonko, and this is from the 23rd of October 2017, a couple of months ago now. And he was talking about improved firefighting equipment for the Nairobi City County. And he talked about how many? 24 brand new fire engines with varied capacity, 4 brand new ambulances and 2 command vehicles and accessories, which he says were a part of a project that was financed by the government of Belgium. And he said that he was able to fast-track the payment and their release from the port. I wonder where that is now, just reflecting now on the response time and, of course, you know, how well-equipped the fire engines were that responded to this fire. And he said that he was able to stop the billing, storage and the handling of this equipment that had been charged from the 1st of September. He approved their payments, also fast-tracked the discharge of the equipment to the county, and said that each of the 17 constituencies will have a fully equipped and staffed fire engine once the equipment arrives in Nairobi. This is something we'll be taking a look at. Where are these fire engines now? Did they eventually make their way to Nairobi from the 1st of September when he says he made interventions to have this equipment brought out now? Because today what we're hearing, 4 engines that responded to this, and out of those 4, according to Nixon Korir, who's the area member of parliament, only 1 had water. So you can understand the frustrations of the area residents there with respect to this. So these are some of the questions we will be asking in the coming days and in the wake of this. But for now, the residents of Kijiji area will be spending the night in the cold. We have no reports of casualties yet, but these are live pictures on your screens. Young people upset, frustrated, no answers yet. But the area member of parliament who is in Mombasa at the moment says he will be there in the morning to assess the damage and see what the needs are. We have no reports of casualties at this moment, but we know the police are on site, and so is the Deputy County Commissioner, the area MCA whom Jeff Kirui spoke to a short while ago. This is a fire that broke out at 8:30 this evening. Some of the residents say perhaps around 7:30. The fire has completely gutted down Kijiji area and some of the surrounding shops and businesses. And this is them just showing the damage that has been done. We had reports earlier this evening of mothers wondering about the fate of their children and people watching their homes and their property burn down in this month of January. Definitely a tough month for them. I wonder if you can just listen in. It's important for us to just understand the frustrations of these residents. We'll get to that in a moment. But as you can see, young people in the area, not too happy, of course, rather upset. I think we have sound now. Let's listen.
Hawana mahali pa kulala, kula imeisha ona.
Songa hapa. Tunakuapisha kesho. Songa hapa. Kuanja baba kesho. Hiyo baba. Hata sisi tumekata kuanzia saa moja, mbona mtaongelea? Tumekuwa na machi mzito hatungechomokewa hivi. Makatoni wamekata machi yako tutatumia. Kisha huko acha kutoa watu wote waonekane. Kila mtu aonekane. Ongea mbele kamera.
Live pictures from Kijiji area there right now. Young men and women, mothers and children, visibly upset. Obviously, they're spending the night out in the cold tonight. And this is why they're upset. Take a look at these pictures from earlier on when the fire had just broken out. This might help you understand their frustration. These pictures that are just about to be up on your screen now show that fire that was raging for quite a while before the fire engines were able to put out this fire. These pictures from earlier should explain the frustration that you have just seen with people who will be spending the night out in the cold. Let me recap for you one more time what we know about this incident thus far. This fire broke out somewhere between 7:30 and 8:30. Those are varying accounts from residents, our reporter, and the area MP and the disaster management unit. According to some, The fire was left to rage for about an hour and a half. According to area member of Parliament Nixon Korir, the Langata area, he says the response was immediate, but the 4 trucks did not have water and had to go back and get some more water to put out this fire. The National Disaster Management Unit's Pius Masai asked for reinforcement from the NYS and KDF. Nixon Korir, Langata Member of Parliament, says there's a lot of bureaucracy. It would take a while for this to happen, and says this is a similar situation he